So what would you say is your favorite, worship song? Now listen, we know we got top 10s. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Because I was thinking about that question. I was
Changes
like,
every
man,
season.
come on. So yeah, let's just say today, what song, favorite praise or worship song that you guys enjoy today?
My favorite of all times is Mercy Me, I Can Only Imagine. I mean, we've had different artists do it, but I Can Only Imagine describes everything about who he is and what I look forward to seeing.
Right. Well, that's awesome.
I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna go with 2. Okay. I Live to Praise, Israel New Breed.
Nice.
Or I Will, I think is the actual name of it.
Right.
And there is just something about that song that just expresses a level of truth just in my being and my reason for being.
Right.
And then I would say, You Deserve It. And I can't think of the artist right now, but You Deserve It is
J.J. Hairston?
Yes,
I think
J.J.
so.
Hairston.
Yeah.
You Deserve It is probably my most current.
Right.
I know I Will is not current, but my most current and favorite worship song.
So my favorite worship song of all time, and I'm going to cheat like you and probably say 2, but my favorite one is Hallelujah, You're Worthy to Be Praised. I know Junie McAllister sings it, but I like to give shout outs to the writers as well, since we're all writers too. But Stephen Anthony Taylor actually wrote that song, Stephen A. Taylor, and loved that song to death. My second one would probably be, it's almost like a hymn, I don't even know if it's a hymn or not, but Oh, the Glory of Your Presence. We are simple
that's a good
reverence. That is just an awesome song because it just talks about the glory of God. We want to bring in God's glory as worship leaders. That's our goal is for the presence of God to be in the room and for his glory, the weightiness of God, his manifestation to be just, present in the room. And that song it puts you in that mindset of the glory of God. All right, so next we want to talk a little bit about some tips for worship leaders. Even though we've been doing worship for all of this time, none of us are experts up here.
Absolutely.
We have all failed, but God was glorified in spite of us.
Grace abounds.
But some of the things I would say that we've kind of learned through the years. What is a tip that you would give, or just something on your heart? It doesn't have to be, a measured saying, but what do you think?
Practice. If you want to be good, practice. If you want to be great, practice. I believe that when you get out there on Sunday, you should be presenting what you've been rehearsing and studying and rehearsing and practicing. And so on Sunday, you're not there to be filled, you're there to pour out what you've been rehearsing and giving. Bible talks about skilled musicians. The Bible talks about how David was skilled. And so to exercise your craft and to really practice your skill, even if you've got to go get some vocal lessons or go get some tips from someone else to say like, hey, I want to be better, it's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
I would say know your focus, and that is God. It's really easy to get distracted by everything that's going on, of which we have to pay attention to because the role of the facilitator is to understand what's going on in the room. But know your primary focus. I would also say, just from a tip perspective, obviously practice, but I would also say study the role of worship leader. And I think that goes beyond practice and knowing what your purpose is. So I've always approached it from the perspective of David. David wrote a zillion prayers that were transferred or translated into songs for the nation of Israel to use and or to leverage. And so when I think of just my role or our roles as worship leaders, I think we are basically presenting songs for the congregation to leverage and to use, and or prayers for the congregation to use to offer up to God. So just remember, a tip is that your role is to be that of facilitator. My job is to help the congregation offer up a prayer so that they can worship God with us.
That's awesome. One tip that I would give is honestly in conjunction with all of these, and that is, as worship leaders, you lead by worshiping. You don't just lead by singing. You lead by worshiping. Sometimes I've seen people get up there and they just want to lead a song, and there's nothing wrong with leading a song. But if you don't go anywhere in your worship to God, if it doesn't come from your heart, and you really enter that place of just the glory of God, they won't be able to go there.
Very true.
And so we, even though we sing, but the main thing that we do is we lead by worshiping. We lead worship by worshiping.
And I piggyback off of that because we've all been in services where the team or the unit of people sounded amazing.
Right.
And you left service feeling like you had not experienced the presence of God. But they sounded fantastic.
Yes.
So we've been there. We've
It
all
was a
been in
great
those
concert.
services.
That was great, you guys. It was wonderful. But yeah, and the funny thing is that even though we give tips and different ideas like this, it is really the glory of God is our goal. Our attention and our focus should really be on God, and it's for Him and it's about Him.
Absolutely.
And it's to Him. So those are just a couple of tips that we wanted to give to you and let you guys know that really be encouraged as you lead worship and as you lead God's people into His presence. Well, we want to just thank our guests today, Kurt and Angela, for allowing God to use them to talk about praise and worship. And we hope that you will join us next time here on Building Champion Worship. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. And like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more videos. And we'll see you next time on Building Champion Worship.